Alright, we're going to do it right-ish this time. Who's ready to go see what kind of mischief we can get into? Welcome back, everybody. It is old Big Mike out here in the dark old hoopty barn. Let's get some light on the subject. How about that mess? So, last time, we're out here playing with this silly driveline thing that did not work, that I thought would work, but I should have known better. But fortunately, I had already purchased this, planning on using it. So, I guess we're just going to figure it out and we're going to use it. So, here's my thought. Let me get us a stand here. And put you right here. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I can get my carrier bearing bracket and all that somewhere in here. But I don't know, because that's going to make I don't know, I think it might drop it down. Be okay. It's just going to be really, really tight fitting all this stuff together. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this one loose. Well, no. I'm going to get some stuff. I'm going to measure how big this one is around, how big that one is around, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I have a baseline. So this drive line here, I was looking at the bolt pattern and all that. This is a 3.5 inch drive line. This bolt pattern is 3 by 3, and this is a 3.5 inch drive line, and this bolt pattern is 3 by 3. And so, that being said, I'm going to just disconnect that one. We'll connect this one, pull the slip yoke and all that. See about fitting our bracket in there. See where it lands. If we have to cut this one down and shorten it, that'll be easy enough, because this one being 3.5, this old piece of drive line I got here, this is 3.25, and I can slip that inside of here. If I have to shorten it and weld it, then I can brace it on the inside with that one. So I'm going to get that one out, put that one in, and then we'll come back and measure and see where we're at. Man, that is a serious spline and shaft. Anyway, so looks like we're going to cut off about 13 inches off of this drive line. And fortunately, I have enough room that I can, in that 13 inches past this, okay, I've got, that'll be back here, and then I'll have, gosh, let's see, I'll have about 20 or so inches, 21 inches, something like that to work with. Probably 20. And this, let me get it, is only, like a dozen inches. With that spline up in here, I'm gonna have plenty of room to work. Yeah, see? So looks like we're going to do 2 cuts and put 2 pieces of drive shaft back together. So let's get this thing out of here, get her cut down, and get back to it. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut this thing. Because this is a 3.5 inch drive shaft, I can't use my big pipe cutter. This works all the way up to 3 1/4, of course. So anyway, that being said, since I can't just, keep a straight line that way, the way I find my straight line, I take some flashing like that and I roll it up, make sure that it's even on both sides. Then I mark my line, to make sure she's even all the way around, and then we take the old portable bandsaw right there. See how much they want for one of them things? Ain't that crazy? I got that sucker at an auction for $27.50. Bargain. Anyway, so as long as I can cut it straight, you'll be all right. So let me get her marked. I'll get her whacked off and we'll get our pieces together. Cut number 1. Yeah, I just kind of tied it off so that it wouldn't fall down in the floor. But yeah, she's pretty dadgum straight cut. How about that business? So, all right, let's do that one more time, and we'll get her all apart. All right, so here's our 13-inch drop, and this is my 3 1/4. See that? It's really, really close. And I figure what I'll do, take some of my handy dandy little flashing before I weld it, and I'll make sure that it's tight in there. So anyway, I'm going to cut off a chunk of this, probably about 4 inches or so, to put in there to use for support inside there, and then we'll break out the old welder. So I don't consider myself overly smart, but sometimes you figure things out and you remember things that make life easier. Like when you know you're going to have to clean the part that you're using, you go ahead and clean the short part while it's still attached to the long part before you finish cutting it off. Makes life a little bit easier. Alright, so yeah, we are set up. This thing really came in handy. Help hold that other piece up there. I got my clamps, I've got my shims inside there. Got my little bit of gap. That way I can get all this stuff welded up. So I figure I'll tack all 4 sides, and then we'll see if we can't come back and get this thing all straight and perfect and awesome. Alright, so I got her tacked on all 4 sides. Before I button this sucker down, ooh-wee, looky there. And yes, sir, she is flat. Got a little, there we are. Right, now we're off of that. Yep, she is nice and flat. So maybe we won't get a bunch of wobble out of this sucker. So, all right, let's get her welded up. So how many times has this happened to you? I got all the way around to there, and I ran out of wire. I just got that little bitty gap to go. So I'm gonna steal wire out of my old junk one over there and we'll finish it up. All right, so there she is. That gun stuff. Now, you know what it needs? I can see if I got any bad spots. I mean, besides the whole thing being a bad spot. Yeah. Anyway, yay. All right, onward. Okay, so I bolted in here. That's where my carrier bearing's gonna sit. Now I gotta try and figure out how in the world am I gonna attach that, because none of this stuff is exactly level or flat, and these are pressed in. So what I think I'm gonna do, I think the best way to attack this is I'm just gonna take a flat piece of metal, put right through here, and right through here I'll just cut a slot right there, and there, and drill a hole in the flat on both sides, put it through, and just use it like a strap. I think it'll work. All right, well, looky there. Well, we're halfway there. We got our little bracket in there. Like I said, I just cut some slots and I went through there and made some straps. And it's not real tight yet. I figured once I get all this buttoned up, I'll tighten it down. But it's snug. And it is hotter than the hinges of Hades in here. And I think that's all I'm going to do for today. And tomorrow, I guess we'll try and get the other half of that drive shaft built. Get that dude in there. So, another hard, hot day in here. So do me a favor. If you ain't subscribed, go ahead and do that and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Say, you big crazy dummy, that two-piece drive shaft ain't right. Tell you, it may not be right, but it is what it is. So, till next time, you know the drill. Y'all keep watching. I'm going to keep working.